Hello, this is Mr. Stansbury. I'm going to take you through the notes on measuring the spread of data. At the end of this, you should be able to say, I can find the range and interquartile range and use this to interpret data. So, first thing, the range is the difference between the maximum and minimum data value. So the range is simply the maximum minus the minimum. Okay, and then the interquartile range, best way to describe that is the median divides the ordered data set into two different halves. And then what you do is you divide each of those two halves into two more halves for a total of 4 equal sections to make quartiles. Okay, so the middle of the lower half, like so, we've got the median. So let's do this. Let's just so that we can kind of see what's going on here. So this is really what it looks like here. So here's all the data. Here's the median, which is also quartile 2, but we just call it the median. We don't call it quartile 2. And then we split the lower half into half. That's quartile 1. And we split the upper half into another half, and that's the middle of that is quartile 3. And then minimum and maximum. Okay? So split it into excuse me, two halves, and then two more halves of 4 equal sections to make quartiles. The middle of the lower half is called the lower quartile, that right here, quartile 1. The middle of the upper half, quartile, is called the upper quartile, or quartile 3. The interquartile range, or IQR, is what it's often referred to as, is the range of quartile 1 and quartile 3. So basically that is from here to here. This is the IQR, the interquartile range. Okay? All right, so we're going to use that info here on an example, and then away we go. Okay, so for the data set, all of this here, find the range, median, quartile 1, quartile 3, and the interquartile range. So I'm going to show you two different ways to do this. We can do this by hand, which is to basically order everything. So I'm going to do that. Okay, so here it all is, ordered least to greatest. Okay, so then that means our range is going to be from 10 to 17, and really what we want to do is we want to subtract those. So that is going to give us a difference of 7 would be our range. Median is going to be the middle number. There's 10 numbers here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's going to be this right here is going to be our median. So that's to find the median. 14 plus 15 divided by 2 gives us 14 and a half for the median. And then quartile 1 and quartile 3. So if the median is an actual number, then we don't use that number and we use whatever's left over. If the median is between two numbers, then we keep all the numbers and find the middle of the lower. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means this is quartile 1. This is the median. And then 1, 2, 3, this is quartile 3. Okay, so that would be 11 and 16. So the interquartile range would be 16 minus 11, which is 5. Okay, so that's how you would do that by hand. Not terribly difficult, especially if you don't have a lot of data. Now, we can also do this example 6 here. We can find the range, median, quartile 1, quartile 3, all on the scientific calculator as well. So, similar as before. Let's see, we don't want that. We want, we're going to push data. And then we currently have some data in there that we don't want because this is the new data that we want. So we're going to push data again. And we had a couple of lists in there. So I'm going to go down here to clear all, push enter. All my data is gone. And now we're going to simply enter in this data here, right? So 10 enter, 15 enter, and then we'll enter all these in. Okay, so we entered in all of our data. We don't have to line it up or anything. We just enter in the data just as it shows up in our original list. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we want to find the statistics on that. So second data, which is stats. It's just one variable statistics. So we push enter. All of our data that we just put in is in list 1. And then actually the frequency in this case is going to be 1. You can actually go through and find the range, median, all this good stuff here with a frequency table as well. But we are just doing our raw data here. So we got list 1, our frequency is just 1, and we're going to go to calculate, and it's going to give us the same info as before. The number of things that we entered in was 10. Our mean, which we don't care about because we just want range, the median, quartile 1 and quartile 3. So basically we want to know what the 5-number summary is here, right? So what we do is we just scroll down here until we get to our 5-number summary. So if you'll look, minimum is 10, quartile 1 is 11, right? So minimum, quartile 1, median, quartile 3, and max. Call that our 5-number summary, right? So we can simply copy that down, 10, 11, and 14 and a half. 10, 11, 14.5. And then if we scroll down farther, we get quartile 3 and the max 16 and 17. So we can now come up with all this info here, right? So the range is from 10 to 17, which is 7. The median 14.5, check. Quartile 1 is 11, quartile 3 is 16. So that means the interquartile range would then just be 16 minus 11 is 5. Okay? So that's how you can also do this on the scientific calculator. Okay? Okay. All right, that's all there is for measuring the spread of data. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in class. Thanks.